Okay, hey, what's up? This is your boy Asiago back at it again with 3 a.m. thoughts. So, man, I'm so hyped right now, dude. I'm so excited. So here's what's going on. So I'm excited for for this upcoming project. Actually, two projects really coming up within this current season. All right, so right now. This is episode 18. Yeah, episode 18 of season 2 on my podcast here. It's become a regular thing now, and you should probably get this by now. Every 13 episodes, I do a character cast. I play a character, I interview that character, and the episode is made. And in a couple of podcasts ago, I mentioned that I had this idea to of all the ideas I was mentioning from my podcast, I mentioned the idea of making radio shows or radio dramas. Like episodes of a radio drama, that I would make for the podcast, and then I got really inspired because for the next character cast I'm gonna do for episode 26. Finally, I wanted to burp at the beginning of the podcast, but anyways, God, I kind of lost track where I was going. Okay, so episode 26, that's going to be the character cast. The season 2 finale. I'm going to be interviewing Dr. Abstruse, and his deal is that he's a scientist, and he originates from this old YouTube video that I made on my back on my YouTube channel called XFLiX. And in the video, it was actually an old school project for my astronomy class, and for the class, I had to explain how the ancient Egyptians used astronomy, in their everyday lives or whatever. And so what I did was I decided, hey, you know what? I'm gonna make this character Dr. Abstruse, give him a time traveling DeLorean, and he's gonna and just make him travel throughout time to to explain to the audience, hey, let's see if I can get the voice ready. So the ancient Egyptians, they used the constellations of the stars to figure out when the annual floods would happen, and blah 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 blah. Stuff like that. So what I ended up doing for that video is I ended it on a kind of a weird note, because towards like the end of the video, you can see him trying to travel back into the future little by little. He makes a one stop into like I say like some election day back in like the late or early 1800s. Yeah, so he's explaining how the ancient Egyptians have been around for much longer than how long Western civilization has been around, and right after he gets to his little points, all of a sudden something happens with the time machine. It starts flashing. Something starts flashing red, and it goes initiating self-destruct. He's like, what the heck is going on? And then it explodes. But it doesn't explode to pieces just yet. As a matter of fact, the initial explosion causes them to go back further in time. And so then where we last leave off, there's a feud. There's a little fight going on between a Roman soldier and a Greek soldier. This big explosion happens, and then you see the freaking time machine, flying up in the air. And you see Dr. Abstruse, he falls down, flat in his face, and right in between the two soldiers, while they're fighting, they pause, because they're like, what the hell's going on? Who's this guy? And he's like, it's been a while since I made the video, since I've seen the video. But he explains some about how like maybe the tactics used by the Egyptians were adopted by Greek and Roman cultures. I think that's what I was trying to say, or trying to convey. But anyways, after he says this little educational point, he looks at both the soldiers. He's like, "Run for your lives!" And he points at the freaking he points at the time machine. That's in the air. Freaking, it's about to completely explode, and it does. It explodes, and all the pieces, begin blasting off, everywhere, killing both the Roman soldiers. But thanks to Dr. Abstruse, knowing what was gonna happen, he ran away. And for the longest time, I wanted to make a sequel to that. not just any sequel, because well, I didn't have any more science projects that I had to do for the rest of that year. I mean, that was kind of like my last thing. Well, actually, I did do one, but it was just some stop motion video. I didn't use Dr. Abstruse for that one. But anyways, what I wanted to do was, I wanted to make another educational video, but at the same time, again, another educational video that would also explain how Dr. Abstruse, it would also focus on how Dr. Abstruse, gathers back the pieces of the time machine, or how he does something, to go back into the future. Because the funny thing was, the science project that I used Dr. Abstruse in, it was called Back to the Past. It was some cheesy reference to Back to the Future. And then I was gonna be like, oh, F it. I'm gonna call this one Back to the Future. I don't know. I mean, hell, I was already using a DeLorean, and I used actual footage from Back to the Future Part 2, actually. And in the beginning of the Back to the Past video. But anyways, for years I wanted to make a sequel, but I couldn't find out what did I wanted to do. I would have to study what was Greek and Roman culture doing at the time, and I had to find out some interesting facts, and then somehow also write a sub story, an undertone sub story that would explain how that would focus on how he gets back into the future. And I just never really got around to doing that. And even when I did, I got lazy, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? I got other things to worry about. I got school, because the first time when I first made the other video, again, it was a school project. I had to work on it, but this was for fun, and there really wasn't as much there really wasn't as much of a need to actually make it, so I just never did. But now that I'm using Dr. Abstruse as another character, from a Charactercast, this gives me the inspiration I need to make a new episode. And now that I don't have to worry about animating, I don't really have to worry about too many other things. All I gotta do is do a bunch of voices, and I want to do radio dramas anyway. So hey, why not just combine the two ideas? I'll make a sequel to that old video. This way, I'm kind of linking both my channel and my podcast together. I mean, I don't know. I think this is pretty damn cool. I'm actually quite excited for this. Shoot. And if you're not familiar with who Dr. Abstruse is, well, good, because he's my original character. I wouldn't want him being used in any other content made by other people unless I give it the permission. But as far as I know, not really anybody else knows about him, nor has anybody else actually used him. Because again, he's my original character. The only content you see him in is content made by me. I mean, hell, even in the last podcast, I did a little phone call bit, like how I did with Desmond. And again, the voice, that's all me. It's an original character. I mean, maybe not original in concept, but at least original the character himself. Anyways, so, and man, I'm just so stoked for this, for this project. And actually, another thing, the bigger thing I wanted to do was, episode 25, the episode right before the Charactercast. That episode is gonna be, the big radio drama. It's gonna be, the actual sequel to that video. I'm already writing the story out. I'm already figuring out what voices I want to do, how it's all going to play out, and I've kind of decided, I'm probably going to ditch the whole educational part of it unless I can find some little educational facts put in it. But with the story that I'm writing, it's probably not going to happen. So, but it's going to be purely entertainment. But whatever, though. I mean, hey, I love this character and I want to use him again. So even if I have to ditch the initial role of the character as a teacher, hey, I mean, I don't mind that, as long as I can make, as long as I can, create something with him again, and if I can make it authentic, just make it still true to the character. He's just not teaching the audience anything, and I'm pretty sure he wouldn't be, too concerned with doing that, because he's got to fix his time machine and go back to the future. Shoot, and plus, I'm going to be introducing some more original characters, more so that I don't have anything to do with education. So, whatever, it's all probably going to work out anyways. Damn, but shoot, like, man, I can't emphasize that enough, man. I am so excited for this project. In episode 26, the actual character cast themselves. So what I plan to do is, and I'm gonna give you like a little sneak peek of what I'm gonna do. So it's gonna start off like just like any other character cast, just like any other podcast. You know, I'm reviewing the guy here in the studio, and then what ends up happening is that, you know, he introduced me to this new machine that he makes, and this new machine doesn't allow him to travel into the past or future. No, this one allows him to travel into, you know, into other dimensions, something out of this world, you know, other dimensions. And it's a little concept in a story that I've written out a long time ago, and I now finally have a way to actually express it. So anyway, so we go into an alternate dimension, you know, and that's, you know, and there's a whole big, actually that entire next part of the character cast will be a radio drama, except, you know, I will also I would also be in it. You know, it's gonna be real dope, you know, because again, I'm writing that story too. However, with writing and creating, you know, all this stuff for episode 25 and 26, yeah, there's definitely going to be a little bit of a break on my little channel. I mean, it's already kind of normal for me to take a day off or two, you know, every so often, you know, because I try to post consistently. Not that I have to or anything, but because I want to. But definitely when making these 2 episodes, I'm going to be, you know, taking. I'm not going to really be posting as much, but that's because I'm going to be working on these things, you know, because again, I really want to make them, and I don't care what the payoff is. You know, I am just so stoked and excited. Man, I literally hadn't felt this excited about making something since, you know, way back in the day, back in my filmmaker days. Whenever, you know, before I had a car, whenever, like, I would get all my props, my film equipment, my costumes and stuff, put them in a duffel bag, and just walk around town, you know, on foot, and, you know, just looking for places to, you know, to freaking set up and film and do my videos. Hell, if you go on my user channel XFLiX, I have a series of videos that all interconnect with each other to create this one mega movie called The Legendary Day. And what I did was I did exactly that. You know, I walked around town on foot with all my equipment and stuff, and I would do this during Thanksgiving and spring break, sometimes even during Christmas break, you know, when I had nothing else to do. Shoot, you know, it was a perfect time. You know, the weather was good. I felt fine outside. I had some good shots, had some good lighting. And, you know, again, I was off of school and didn't have any homework. I didn't have a job or anything like that to worry about. So all I had to worry about was just making my movie. And let me tell you, it was all fun. I actually kind of miss those days, you know. You know, it was always exciting. You know, it was always you know, just it's just something cool was always happening when I did those. But you know what, though, I'm getting that feeling again, and this time, you know, it's not for a video, it was for a podcast. Shoot, and I've been wanting to get back into, you know, creating things again, but I just never really found a way to do that with. But now, you know what, I got this podcast, you know, I got the whole concept of radio dramas down. Man, I can totally freaking do it. You know, it's like in a way, my YouTube channel XFLiX, you know, doesn't continue on YouTube. It continues on Spotify, here on the podcast. Shoot, you know, I mean, I say Spotify, but it's also, you know, Anchor. But let's be honest here, more people are going to listen to these podcasts on Spotify anyway, so that's why I'm saying it. You know, XFLiX continues on Spotify. Shoot, you know, so I mean, this is so exciting, man. This is exciting. Shoot, man, I can't stress it enough. I'm so hyped for this, man. Like, damn, I am just so excited. I got this feeling of inspiration and motivation again that I hadn't had in a long time. Man, I'm just, ooh, shoot, man. So okay, so what about the radio dramas? You know, that is something I do want to do. Although, because I mean, depending on what happens, you know, with these 2 that I'm going to be making, that may or may not become a regular thing. If they're a lot easier to make than I think they are, then they might become like a regular thing on the channel. Maybe like, you know, episode 25 of every season, or that might be the dedicated radio drama, and then again, every 13 episodes is still a character cast, or or vice versa. I might let's see. It just depending on how this goes. Really depends on how what I decide the radio dramas will go. Because here's the thing, like I do want to make them into a regular thing, but at the moment I can only just see them as being kind of like random events that I do. If you don't see me posting for more than 2 days, it's probably because I'm working on on a radio drama. But you know what? If I get probably it might actually work if I do it on every episode 25. Yeah, every freaking like 20 some episodes. It's gonna be pretty lit. Either way. Shoot. I mean, continuing, and you know what? And Dr. Abstruse, continuing his story, continuing his series on my podcast. But you know what? I have other series. I have other. I don't want to say franchises because I'm not making money off them or anything like that. But I'm gonna say I have other franchises on my channel, other series. that I could also continue on here as radio dramas. Freaking there's there's freaking. There's Dr. Abstruse. There's Georgie the Epic Twin. There's the American Dream, which is a made-up superhero that I made up for a couple of videos. Professor 9298 and Warrior 9298. Although, if you watch the videos that I made those two in, I kind of put them in a time paradox of which there really is no way of getting out of. So unless I can create like side stories or whatever, we just gotta see what we can do from there. But hey, if I can make it work, I can make it work. And we got Whippy Comico, which is another freaking original character that I made. He's kind of like a host for a kids show. He's got the kids in the audience. It's kind of like a clown kind of guy. He's got this freaking magic storybook. When he opens it up, he tells a story, and the story almost comes to life. Right before the kids' eyes. It's a real fun concept. But because I'm not gonna be relying on visuals, I gotta make it work more so with in the sound department, and then the whole in the entire audio department period. So that's going to be quite interesting. And there's some animation videos, like freaking cartoons that I've made on my channel too. I mean, old cartoons, because it's been such a long while, other than the Dr. Abstruse video, that I actually made cartoons. But shoot, like there's Freak the Monster versus Apul. There's God, I can't. The other two, I don't remember. I think they're just cringy stop motion videos. Actually, I know one of them is. The other one, I don't really know. But still, I have so many of these original characters though. Because again, growing up through high school, I've made so many original characters. I made so many comics and stuff. That I can portray their voices, because I created them and all. I can portray my own damn characters. Shoot, like I can portray them. I can create these stories. I can build these worlds using the power of audio. And I even had this other plan to where, hey, I got Blender on my computer. So what I could do is, if I really like, what I do with the radio drama part of things, hell, like if I really wanted to, I can get on Blender. Learn about it more, and then actually make actual animations of all these radio dramas adventures that I make. And man, that would be pretty damn dope. Again, it would take a lot of time, take a lot of effort, but you know what? If it ends up being fun to make, and if it makes it complete, and if it gives me a actual excuse to actually post on my freaking channels again, hey, that's all I really want. That's all I really want. That's all I really need. And man, like I'm so excited. I can't stress how excited I am. Like I'm literally like jumping up and down in my chair right now, man. I can't believe it, man. Shoot, and I got so many. And shoot, I even got so many new adventures with new stories, new characters, man. Shoot, over the past decade alone, I made so many characters. And I can finally, really bring them to life here with the power of my voice and the power of sound effects. It's for sure a new step in my creative life. And I'm really excited to see where this goes. Okay, so anyway, so I'm really done with that little topic there. But there's another topic I want to get into. Let's see. Well, seeing that I got some time left. Shoot, I'll go ahead and start talking about it now for like the next 10 minutes, and and I'll probably have to. I'm gonna have to make another segment anyway. So, anyways. So now that we've gotten over the project side of things, now that was pretty much my opener. So this is about something current that's been happening. Now it's not super current. Well, I mean it's kind of been going on for like a little while, but I hadn't really realized anything until Mother's Day, which was a couple days ago. So let me tell you what's happening. So my dad wants to move houses again. Yes, I say again, so here's the thing, I'm tethered, I'm tethered to my parents' house right now, because I mean, again, it's not like I'm forbidden to move out. I mean, I can if I want to. It's completely possible. The only problem is that financially, it's probably not possible unless I want to live in the street, unless I want to live in the dumpster. Hell, even if I want to freaking do what Desmond did and live in my car. I have no other choice but to kind of go with the flow of what they say, moving wise. But the bad thing is that like freaking like I don't know why my dad wants to move houses again. Like I really don't. It baffles my mind. Like we just settled here. Like literally we moved into this house back in 2018. And more specifically, like around late July, early August of 2018. It wasn't that long ago. Again, like it hasn't even been 2 years yet. Again, it's May 2020. It hasn't even been 2 freaking years yet. Like I don't know why. Like I've just gotten used to this house completely. Like, I don't wake up anymore thinking, wow, this is a different looking room. This is a different looking house. Wow, we got stairs now? Wow, this house is so much bigger. The colors in the rooms are so much different. The doors are different. I've gotten so used to everything now. I am so, used to everything. I mean, I've just gotten fully settled in. Freaking my furniture right now is all perfect. And again, like this really truly just feels like home. Like, even though like the last house we lived in, we lived in for 11 years. Hell, it feels like in this house, it just feels like we've lived here for a long while. Even though it hasn't even been a full 2 years yet, we've just settled enough into where it just feels like we've been living in this house for a little more than 2 years, like at least 5 years. That's how it feels. But anyways, for some reason he really wants to move again, and I'm like, why? Freaking, because on Mother's Day, he was looking up these freaking so actually, well, he wasn't just looking up houses. Actually, on Mother's Day, after we did the usual things, we had our steak because he cooked some freaking sirloin steaks. He got some he cooked some baked potatoes on the side, and we would have had honey too because we had a bee problem in the front yard, and this beekeeper came along, got rid of the bees, and we saw the honey they made. But sadly, he wouldn't give us the honey. Probably if I would have given him some money, he probably would have given us the honey. You know what I mean, Bunny? Oh, that's a very cheesy rhyme. But anyways, I'm gonna go on a detour real quick because I also want to waste time here for this segment of the podcast. Man, I'm telling you, I freaking love honey. Like, honey is one of my most favorite things on this planet. Like, my God, like it is so damn good. Like, and I'm not talking about the freaking processed honey, that you see in the freaking bear-shaped cans, or not cans, but the plastic bottles, the bear-shaped bottles. No, hell no, I'm not talking about the processed honey. No, I'm talking about just raw freaking honey. Like, the more raw it is, the more, like, the tastier it is, the sweeter it is. I mean, hell, like, if you can just get honey straight from the hive, I mean, given that either the bees are gone or you're just immune to bee stings, like, just stick your hand in the freaking hive and just scrape some honey with your freaking hand and just start eating it. I'm telling you, that is theoretically just the best tasting honey ever, because it's straight from the source, unfiltered, raw, just tasty freaking honey. Like, personally, I think it's even sweeter than sugar. And the thing is, it's naturally like that. It's a natural sweet thing, not sweetened by sugar. Like, again, it has no sugar. It's just naturally the way it is. It's so freaking tasty. It's so freaking sweet. And my God, like, shoot, they even have like the bottles of honey. There's the bottles of pure, unfiltered raw honey. And they're kind of pricey because, again, the more raw the honey is, the more pricey it's gonna be. And the kind of smaller the jars might be, some of the times. But this brand of raw honey I'm talking about, I forgot the name of it. But what I really like about this company is that they would also include the honeycomb. Yes, the actual honeycomb in the freaking jar. So I mean, I think that would actually boost the actual sweetness of it, because you got the source right there at the bottle. But shoot, like whenever you freaking exhaust all the honey out of the bottle, man, you just got that honeycomb left, man. And my favorite thing to do is just to take that honeycomb and just eat it straight up. It is so good. Like, oh my God, it is just so tasty. But the thing is, it is so sweet. I mean, it's like honeycombs are pretty like the sweetest things I've ever eaten in my whole life, and I've eaten tons of sweets. I've consumed so many types of sweets. Now, something sweetened by sugar, something sweetened by aspartame, by other kinds of sweeteners. Shoot, I think stuff that's naturally sweet. But of everything that I've ever eaten, artificial, natural, you name it, this honey is just the sweetest thing I have ever tasted, man. And like eating a honeycomb straight up, man, like it was like the sensation of the sweetness. It was just so much. It was so freaking much that my tongue couldn't process, like my taste buds, they couldn't process it all like in one go. Like it took me like it took me a good freaking like 30 minutes. They eat like a freaking honeycomb about the size of my palm. And it actually it was actually like maybe half the size of my palm, but still, it was so sweet. It just took me quite a good while, to eat through the whole thing, because again, that's just so much sweetness coming in all at once. My taste buds, they gotta adjust. They gotta process all that information, all that tasty information, man. It's just it is the bomb, especially when you put that, when you put honey in freaking sandwiches, like peanut butter and honey sandwiches. Oh my freaking God. Like, I mean, I don't get me wrong, I love peanut butter and jelly, but you give me peanut butter and honey, that is my that is my favorite kind of sandwich. Like, that's my favorite variation of sandwich. Peanut butter and honey. I mean, meatball subs, turkey sandwiches, freaking Angus beef sandwiches, all these different kinds of sandwiches that I love and eat. Freaking peanut butter and honey is my absolute favorite of all time. It's just so sweet, and it goes really well with the peanut butter, a lot more well than you would think. Hell, I remember there was this point in time at work where I was literally eating nothing but peanut butter and honeys at work for lunch, and it was just it was just so good. Like, oh my God, like free shoot. I mean, feel free. Call me the honey bear. Call me Winnie the Pooh for all I care. Like, I don't care. That's how much I love honey. Oh my God. Like, and if I could, if I was immune to bee stings, or if I could find the perfect opportunity to just break in a beehive without any bees around or bees attacking me, I would just scoop up the honey and just eat it straight up, man. I'm not sure if honey is bee crap, or if it's bee spit, or if it's bee semen, or if it's bee anything. I don't care what it is. All I know is they make it. I love it. I don't care what it is. It's so damn good, and it goes so good with everything. Well, I mean, not necessarily everything, but whatever you mix it with, it's definitely gonna boost like flavor. It will definitely boost the flavor in whatever form. Hell, you put that stuff in green tea, you can just taste the difference, man. You can just taste the difference. My God. Shoot. So here we go. We're at the last 30 minutes of this segment here. So now that I got my whole little tangent of honey and why I love it so much, man, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna keep on going. After this segment. So, I don't want to end it right now, but you know what? I probably will. It's just a few seconds off. Anyways, more on the whole moving situation. Next segment. Here we go. Alright, hey, what's up? So welcome to the second part of this podcast. So last time on Dragon Ball Z. No, I'm just playing. Last time, I was talking about, my dad wants to move again. We barely just lived in this house for like freaking 2 years now, not even 2 years. And he wants to move again. Like on Mother's Day, he was looking at this one house he's been looking at for a while, presumably. And it's a much bigger house. It's much nicer looking, yes, but again, very unnecessary due to our current situation. Like we've been living here for comparably a shorter time than, compared to like the last place we lived in, which we lived there for over a decade. And over here, you're like, we just got here, we just got all settled in. We're having no problems at all. The house ain't ugly either. It's not in a bad neighborhood. We're not having like an infestation problems or anything like that. We're like nothing negative is going on. But he still wants to move for some reason. Like I don't know. Like I'm starting to think that maybe his hobby is freaking moving, or maybe that he just gets bored easily or something like that. I'm not sure. Because like actually with the last house, his like what he was saying, what he planned to do was because this is 2018. He said, oh, we're gonna stay here for another 5 years, then we're gonna move. And so, here we are now in 2020, living in a new house. Although we should still, according to his original plan, we should still be over there. But the thing is that I remember like shortly after he said that, like a couple of days passed and he's like, I want to move now. Like we got to move now. Now, come on now. And again, there's nothing wrong. We were in a bad neighborhood. Nothing was going on. Blah, blah, blah. He just really wanted to freaking move. And it was just annoying because it was just out of the blue all of a sudden. And he already did everything. And next thing you knew, freaking, we were packing our things and we were heading off. I mean, I was like, what the hell? Like, I don't know. It's like I don't think he thinks about this stuff, before putting it to action. Like for a lot of things, he doesn't really think about it. He just does it and then maybe thinks about it as we're doing it. Like, huh? I never got him about that. Like, shoot, like freaking like the end of last year, my uncle and aunt, they just wrecked their car, lost their jobs, and they were living off of unemployment, so they were living here, at our place. They were staying in the guest room. Their whole thing was, all my parents said was, you can stay here rent free and stuff, but all you got to do is just not spend money. Just keep on collecting your unemployment, save up, buy a car, and get a job, and keep applying for jobs. And and that's what they did. Or at least that's what we thought they did, until they realized that freaking they were just spending all their unemployment checks on freaking drugs, and freaking they weren't applying for jobs. They're just being lazy bums in the damn house, not doing a goddamn thing. And but my dad still insisted on freaking helping them get a vehicle. So like he was like, hey Chris, come on, we're going to the car lot. We're gonna sell your car and we're gonna get you a new car. Come on, let's go. And I'm like, what is this deal? What is this attitude? What is with this attitude about having to do things now? Do things immediately? Like there is no sense. Like he just doesn't think about this stuff. Like he doesn't think it through. He just does it. And he just does it, and he just maybe partially thinks about it while we're going on. I'm not like, huh? Golly. And I was like, he almost freaking sold my car for for something that was for a lower grade car, just so my aunt and uncle would have a car in which they were already irresponsible anyways, just so he can try to speed things up. And I'm like, dude, chill the hell out. Freaking God, there's other more important things you gotta focus on. I mean, hell, this is also the same guy that was telling them, hey, spend your money to buy a bike. I don't care. Freaking get out of the house and start looking for jobs, applying for jobs. Do what you can. But then he's over here like, come on, we're gonna sell your car so they can have a car. You can have a lower class car. Come on, let's go. Like, it's so damn annoying. Like, Dad, I love you. but you're damn annoying. Like, oh, goddamn. Like, it's. And then it's even more annoying when we're dealing with an entire house because the whole situation with the last move, like it was a hassle. It was a true hassle because like within like a couple of days he put the whole house up on for sale, and we were already taking everything off the walls. We were packing everything in the boxes and all that. And I remember freaking every night I was coming home from work with tons of boxes that I just wouldn't throw away. Because I'm a stalker at Walmart, so I just simply didn't throw away my trash, and I just put it all in my car. And hell, I would even stay till overnight arrives, until I'll just wait for overnight, to finish their boxes, so I can get the big old boxes of freaking Sterilite and the big old shoe boxes and stuff like that. And just have a bunch of boxes we would use for moving. It's also really cool because there are a bunch of free boxes. But anyways, sure, like I would just come home every day with so many different damn sizes of boxes, and we would just be packing our stuff, getting ready to leave. And then my second cousin Tiffany, she so her dad around this time he passed away, and his house was left to her, and because the house was already there we go, finally I burped. Anyways, is that after passing away, his house, all his possessions, everything in it, it was all left to her. So she was the owner of the house. But since she hadn't, sold it yet, my parents decided, hey, we're gonna use this house as a halfway house. We're gonna stuff our stuff in the storage while you guys, while we're getting this house, making it empty, make it look pretty, so people can come in and decide whether or not they want to buy it. No, you guys, you're gonna stay in that halfway house. Yeah, the dogs, everyone, you're all gonna stay there, except for me and Mom. We're gonna stay here, in the master bedroom, while in an empty house, while the rest of y'all, you can just chill over there. And that's exactly what we did. With the whole process, because I think we started like late May, and then so the house was emptied by the beginning of June, and we were staying in the halfway house for almost a full 3 months. Freaking because we didn't fully move into the freaking new house, or the house took our old house took forever to actually get sold, and then it didn't take them too long to buy this current house, but still the whole process took almost 3 whole months, and freaking it wasn't until early August when we were actually finally moving out of the halfway house, getting your stuff out of storage, moving it into this new house. And I remember, it wasn't it wasn't terrible, it wasn't horrible, but it was annoying because there was no Wi-Fi at that house, and with my sister sucking it all up, freaking we couldn't even use her mobile data there. And I remember at one point, because I didn't think we'd be there for so long, I just wouldn't open up the boxes to get out my game consoles and hook them up to the TV in the house. I didn't do that for until almost 2 months in, because I wasn't expecting that we'd be in there for so long. Hell, I even got desperate and resorted to freaking buying Lego sets, after work, and just freaking, building up Lego sets and freaking playing with them afterwards, because I was just so damn bored. And I did other stuff too, but I already talked about that in the last podcast. But still, my God, the whole thing was super annoying, and all because he just couldn't wait. He just had to do it now. Freaking he didn't want to think about it. He just wanted to do it. He just wanted the change. Okay, so moving out of the house, the house we stayed in for 11 years. Okay, there's a better reason than that. Just wanted to leave all of a sudden. We've been in there for over a decade. Anything that's over a decade, there's always a calling for a change. Kind of, refresh things, kind of make things new. So at least there's that little reasonable bit. But we hadn't even lived in this current house for not even 2 years yet, and yet he already wants to go to another house just because it's bigger, just because it looks nicer. And I'm like, did you not just realize all we had to go through in the last move, and now you're wanting to do it again so damn soon? Again, nothing's official yet. Nothing has been actually set into motion yet, or at least not from what I know. But still, knowing my dad, if he wants to do some, he will just do it. he will just do it. And sometimes, his plans may get foiled, which is why my car never got sold. Thank God. But still, I mean, unless his plans get foiled, when he sets his mind to something, he's just gonna do it, whether people agree with him or not. And again, this is the whole house we're talking about, so no matter what, I'm gonna get dragged into this mess. And as long as I'm tethered, to under their roof, I can't really do anything about it. Hell, like, I had this plan to because they get me and some of my boys. We were gonna come together and pitch in our incomes together and get ourselves like a freaking apartment or a trailer or something like that. Maybe not a house unless we all made freaking good money, which I need to become a supervisor. One of my friends needs to get upgraded to another store, and my other friend, you probably just need to get like another higher paying job. And until another one of my friends would actually need to get a job. But anyways, we would just have to come together, freaking, raise up our incomes, and then have a place together so I can actually move out of this place. But my plan was that if they actually went through with this idea to move from this house so damn early and move into this other house, I was just gonna take the opportunity to just move out, just move out on my own. But unfortunately, nothing like my friends aren't really ready for that yet. There's still like some things at the workplace and stuff they gotta do, before they can do this. Although we're still planning on it, we're still we're still looking forward to it. And as soon as the opportunity presents itself, I'm just gonna go ahead and go. But hell, but again, for now, I'm just gonna have to go through it if they go through it with it, and I'm not gonna like that too much. But what the hell ever. God, actually, and now I think about it, I think like one reason I can really think about why my dad wants to move this bigger house so damn much is because and there's been a lot of talk in the house about my sister getting married to her boyfriend soon, and that's all fine and dandy and all, except for a couple of things. First of all, my sister, she wants to go to school, but she hasn't even signed up for any semesters yet, and she's never gotten a job. And her boyfriend, he's currently going to school, but again, like with his job, he's still living at his parents' place. I'm like, for me, call me old school, call me sexist, call me whatever the hell you want. Give me any derogatory term you can throw at me. But hey, I say I'm a bit old school, and I say if you, a man, a freaking man, a man, if you as a man are gonna freaking get down on one knee and ask a girl to marry you, you better have your crap together. I say you better have your damn crap together. Must have your own place, your own car, must be able to be stable enough to freaking support yourself, or at least be stable enough, with you and some buddies, or even you and your partner, to be able to support yourselves. Because honestly, I think it's kind of embarrassing to I think it's kind of embarrassing, to get married and you're still living at your folks' house. I mean, again, no hate against you if you do, but like, again, I think this is kind of embarrassing, man. Like, again, call me old school, call me any derogatory term you want to give me, but I mean, that's the way I think. And shoot, and that's the way it be. And knowing my dad, he says, oh, if you guys get married, I want you to stay over here in this house. You can stay in the guest room and stuff. And then, because we're knowing my sister, she's the opposite of me. Not only does she want kids, she wants a ton of kids, and that means there's gonna be a ton of people living in the house. And so he's like, oh, well, we're gonna need a bigger house because we're gonna be more people. And he's doing this under the assumption that not only will they both stay in the house after getting married, but they would also just stay there for longer than a few years, or longer than a couple of weeks. No, they're like, he's doing this with the assumption that they're gonna be there, be living under his roof for like forever or something like that. And I'm like, oh my god, huh? And again, and knowing him, he will do something like that. And here's the thing about me, you know, if they, as ridiculous as I think it is, and as much as I don't like it, if my sister's boyfriend wants to get married to her and still live under the same roof, that's fine. That's all fine and dandy. But once I hear that my sister is pregnant and that a baby is coming, I don't care what I gotta do. I'm moving out. Again, I hate babies. I don't want to be living under the same roof as one. I refuse to. Like hell, I'll even live in my car for as long as it takes, just to avoid being in the same house as a goddamn baby. Hell, I'll even do my freaking character Desmond did in the podcast a couple of podcasts ago. Freaking be like, Mom, I'm gonna rent the hotel room. I'm just gonna keep renting the same hotel rooms, and that's what I'm gonna live, man, or some crap like that, or I might save up some money, buy a freaking like a small RV. And just live in that. I'm like every so often I'm gonna have to change parking lots, so I don't get in trouble. But hey, I just live in an RV. I mean, it's gonna be a bit smaller than I'm used to, and I'm gonna adjust many ways. But hey, if it works, it works. And I don't like the idea of one big family under one roof. Hell, like okay, we may be Hispanic. But I don't believe in that whole Hispanic idea of just having the entire family live under one roof. It really doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't there is no logic in that. Hell, this ain't Mexico. This is America. Well, and again, if you can support yourself, you can support your own family, do that. You don't have to be living on your parents' roof. You can get your own place. Raise your children up to be adults, not just freaking, forever kids are going to be relying on your parents' house forever. My God. And again, I'm not just saying this because I'm different in the sense that I don't want to carry the family name or anything like that. I'm saying this with the whole fact that I just don't think it's ethical. I'm not sure if that's the right word. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's smart. And he just wants this giant family under one roof. I just don't agree with it. I don't. Yeah. Again, given the situation, we just barely moved into this current house, and he just wants to move out right away. There's so many renovations that he says he still wants to do and stuff. Hell, freaking still wants to freaking replace the entire second floor floors, replace all the carpet with a hardwood floor. And to be honest, he probably should have done that long before we moved all this damn heavy furniture upstairs. But well, whatever, that's his little logic or whatever. God, and the last move was just such a freaking hassle. And get this, his plan for if we do go on with the move is because the house that my second cousin Tiffany had, second house, she sold it. She sold that sucker. So that house is not available anymore. So what are we gonna do? There is no halfway house. So what are we gonna do? Oh, he says, we can just live in a freaking hotel. Like hell am I gonna freaking live in a hotel, or at least live in a hotel with the rest of them? Hell no. And plus, what about the dogs? Dogs ain't allowed no hotel. Freaking I ain't living in no goddamn hotel for freaking 3 months with being in the same room with everybody else, just so he can get this bigger house. Hell no. Shoot. And again, where the hell the dog's going? What, you're gonna make someone watch him or something? Hell no. No, you need to think about this stuff first. Don't just freaking just barely think about it at all and just do it. No, freaking put some logic in the head. Put some logic up in here. Freaking use some damn sense. My God, you're coming up with crackhead ideas, man. Oh my God, and I really don't like the idea because again, there's currently there's freaking 5 people living under this roof. I mean, then there's my grandma Patsy, but it's me, my sister, my granny, and my parents, and the dogs. There's 5 people, 2 dogs under the roof, and then my grandma Patsy. She occasionally visits for like a week or two, every month, so the dogs can get used to her. But get this. Freaking again, so you get the standard 5 people living in one hotel room. I've been in many hotels, and for the most part, if you're gonna have more than freaking 3 people, if you're gonna have more than 2 or 3 people, or 4, if you're gonna have more than 4 people, having more than 4 people in one freaking room, it gets pretty cramped. It gets pretty claustrophobic, and I ain't doing that. I ain't. You can try putting me in that room, but I ain't staying. Hell no. And especially with my freaking schedule, with me not waking up till I don't wake up till the afternoon, so I can be able to stay up late for work and stuff. And plus, I'm awake all night, I'm awake all day, and I sleep in the mornings, and I have to and I come home late, I leave home late, and just adjusting that schedule to the whole hotel scene, nah, that ain't working. Unless you're going to be paying for my own hotel, or unless maybe I end up getting a loan from the bank, and I end up putting a down payment on a freaking RV that I can live in. I'm actually really infatuated with that idea of living in an RV. Kind of like, how the Ben 10 gang did in the original series. But I wouldn't be as fun because there wouldn't be no aliens or Omnitrix or really anything for that matter. But anyways, shoot. So, and this all goes down to because all these talks about my sister getting married soon. And I'm like, why are you trying to get married now? Like, what's the deal with all these people getting married so damn soon? Like, if you can make it work, yeah, but why do it so damn soon? She's barely 20 years old, and again, she wants to have all these damn kids. She wants this entire adult life immediately, but she's got a lot of growing up still to do, and there's a lot of freaking priorities and stuff that her and her boyfriend need to freaking look at and achieve before they can even think about doing all that stuff. There's so many hurdles, but yet you want to get to the finish line right away. You're gonna try to go around the hurdles. Hell no, you're gonna find yourself going through some damn problems. You can try to get around them, but it ain't gonna be easy. It ain't gonna be easy. And as a matter of fact, there is no going around it. You're just gonna be jumping different hurdles of different sizes, and it ain't gonna be a fun ride. It ain't gonna end well for you. My freaking God! There's so much more important stuff they need to focus on before the whole baby train, and I know that's what they really want, because God, and here's my theory of why, more specifically, here's my theory of why freaking Christians, get married so damn young. Because here's the thing, this is a Christian situation, because we're all Christians in this house. My sister and her boyfriend are Christians, and the whole belief is that sex is meant for marriage. It's reserved for marriage, but the thing is, with our humans, our natural tendencies is to want to have sex. And let's see, and nobody else. Let's see, my parents and my sister don't know that I know this, but I know that my sister, my future brother-in-law, they've already done it before. Now, I have no problem with that or whatever, but here's what I'm saying. I know that. First of all, I'm going to talk about the situation in a later podcast, but I know that for a fact that they've done it more than that one time that they are caught, and even if they stopped, for a good while, I know they're gonna want to do it again, but they're gonna want to do it under the validity of marriage, So I know they're gonna get real horny to the point where they're just gonna get married right away so they can do that, and comes babies, and so either way, my time of being here is ticking. I'm gonna have to make my own moves pretty damn soon. God, and it's annoying, man. I don't want to go through this, but I probably might have to. It's more of a me problem than anything. Because I don't have to deal with all this stuff at all. But well, whatever. Again, challenge accepted. I'm the great Asiago. I can face any challenge. Shoot, I may not be pretty. I may not freaking. I may not ace it with perfect marks. But shoot, I'll make it through it. I'll do whatever I can I'll do whatever I can to freaking to make it through my situations, man. Yeah, shoot. God. So let's see. What else do I want to talk about here? Shoot. Okay, yeah. So I just gave myself a moment. Okay, so anyway, so I already talked about how he tried to sell my uncle the car and all that. Now back to the main reason why he wants to sell the house, buy this bigger house, because again, he wants to live with the intention that there's just gonna be this ginormous freaking family living under one roof, and that's fine and all. That's what you want to do. I just don't agree with it, man. Well, for many reasons, but like all you gotta know is I ain't staying. As soon as it is announced that my sister is pregnant, I ain't staying. Or at least they should know that I ain't staying, because again, I don't want to be a parent, but the thing is, and this is kind of a conspiracy theory, against my own family, but I mean, I'm gonna say it anyways. I know for a fact that my parents they're still just hell-bent on getting me to change my damn mind, and so I can become a father, so I can give them more grandkids. And similarly, it's like that's all they care about is being grandparents. And the thing is that it's not like they ain't gonna be grandparents. I mean, hell, they may not get any grandchildren from me. Actually, they won't. But shoot, my sister, her fertility, that she's gonna give them so many grandkids that I won't even need to give them any grandkids, because with the amount of freaking grandkids they're gonna have, you would think all of them would be split up between the both of us, but no, it's all gonna be from her, because again, she wants all these damn kids and I want none. I think it's a perfect balance, but not to them though. No, they can't be satisfied with many other things. They can't be satisfied. They just want more and more and more. But I ain't gonna give them more and more and more. And I think they know about my situation, and they know that I'm not gonna want to, and they know I can't currently, they know that I'm tethered to them right now. And I think what they want to do is, they're gonna be like, okay, so we're gonna have this big old family in this one roof, and then now that Chris, he can't leave right now, we're gonna make him take care of the baby all the time. Yeah, we're gonna keep on making him take care of the baby, and we're gonna force him, to change his mind about having a child by giving him first-hand experience, by taking care of the child all the time, by having to deal with the baby all the time, and blah 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 blah. And and knowing them, there is a 60-40 there's a 60-40 chance that they would actually be planning to do that, just knowing them and all. and knowing their freaking their obsession with with kids and babies and stuff like that. I'm like, my God, it's crazy. It's God. It's God. If babies end up spawning, I'm leaving. That's the bottom line. Shoot, man, I don't care what I do, even if I have to live in my car for a bit, even if I have to live in the damn store that I work at for a little bit. Hell, I'll sleep in the baler. I'll get one of those freaking baby mattresses and just sleep in one of the freaking stills at Walmart. I don't know. I'll do something. I can always make something work. Hell, shoot. I mean, it's not like I don't already plan to move out anyways. My personal deadline is I want to be out and about on my own by the time I'm 26, if not sooner. Or maybe until I finish school, whenever that would be. But shoot, but we'll just have to see about that, And two, another thing to think about is that eventually, my sister and her boyfriend, or her future husband, they'll eventually have to move out too with all their kids. And then there's going to be left this big old empty house. Then they're going to want to move again to a smaller house. That's going to be a little hassle, because they're going to be a lot older than them. It's going to be a lot emptier, and they don't want to be, my parents don't want to be in a big old house if, my sister, me, and her husband are not or their 78 kids are not going to be living there, And they even told me themselves, the only reason why they want a big house is because they want the whole family to live there. But they already know, once babies start spawning, I'm leaving. shoot, they should know this crap by now, man. But whatever, you know, they want to do first, think later. You know, that's this is the way I see it, you know. Yeah, so here we go. Last segment. This will also be my outro, but I'm just gonna wrap up some things here. So yeah, so I just feel like that I'm just truly like the only one thinking this like all the way through. Like they're just kind of living in the now, not considering any other factors except for I want bigger house, I want big family and big house, yeah, or whatever the crap, whatever. Shoot. But my problem is that as long as I'm tethered to them, I mean, nothing is really saying I can't move out except for my wallet. But again, if I wanted to, I could just pack my bags and just live in the streets and be a freaking hobo. But I'm not gonna do that. I mean, I might do that. I might live in my car for a bit, or I might buy an RV and just live in that. But whatever though. Whatever. We'll just see what happens. We'll just see what I can and can't do. Bottom line, I'm just annoyed by all this, and and no matter what, I will take all necessary measures to avoid or escape it. You know, within reason, of course. You know, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna freaking like, you know, I don't know, do something stupid or whatever. Or I just might, you know, just to prove a point. Or I just might, you know, to kind of advance myself. I don't know. You know, we'll just have to see. You know, I know this is definitely an era of change now. You know, or maybe it won't be an era of change because maybe they'll actually think this through this time and they'll realize, okay, you know what? Maybe this isn't the best idea. Maybe we just shouldn't do this. Or maybe the house will end up getting sold soon, and they'll be like, okay, you know what? We can't do this anyways. Damn it. But then again, like literally the other day, they called like the realtor. You know, the realtor that sold us this house. They called him up the other day, and they go check out that other house that they were looking at. I'm like, God, I really hope you guys think about this. You use some goddamn sense, man. Yeah. But again, though, if it comes down to it, I'm moving out, even if it completely goes against me. You know what? I can get through it. I'm the great Asiago. I can see. I'm always sure. I can always do it. I can always, you know, do anything I can or want as long as I put my mind to it. Shoot, my damn kindergarten teacher told me once, you can do it if you put your mind to it. And that's how we're gonna end it. Don't you know? Okay, I can't rhyme. I can't rap. I mean, I could if again the moment, and if I had more rhymes in my head. But anyways, all that we could save that for another podcast. But anyways, so if you made it this far, you know, thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to my little rant there, and you know, and just, you know, just thank you for, you know, for just supporting me, for you know, for just, well, you know, listening to all these casts, or even if this is your first one. I mean, thank you for just making it this far, you know, and just hope and pray that you have a good day, and yeah, that's about it. Let's just hope the situation eases up, or maybe it doesn't happen at all. We'll just have to see. And if it does, I can guarantee you a podcast about that. Anyways, this is your boy, Asiago on 3am Thoughts, signing off. Have you a good one.